I'm OG, y'all new to the game.
What's up guys, welcome to the channel. So today's video, I'm gonna go over every single car that I have owned in my entire life. So I'm gonna give you a rundown on which cars I've owned and kind of like the pros and cons on owning each one of these vehicles. So hopefully I give you guys some good advice on cars that you should start off with and some that you should probably steer clear from. So stay tuned for that info. All right, so first car number one. First car I've ever owned was a 2000 Dodge Stratus. Now, this car was given to me by my mom, and I drove it for all of, I would say, maybe 500 miles before the engine completely seized, and they wanted $3,000 to fix this car. So at the time, I was probably 18, did not have $3,000 to drop on a car, so just pretty much let that car go. In my opinion, the vehicle, while it lasted, drivability wasn't that great. Felt a little cheapish, and as you see, didn't last very long. So that was kind of a wash, but that was my very first car, and I was excited to get into my second car. So car number two, the second car that I've ever owned, was actually a Nissan 240SX. So it was a manual transmission. I did not know how to drive manual very well. I bought it off of a guy that was actually selling it in my neighborhood, and it was pretty fun. So I had it for about a month, and then I actually turned around and sold it for like $1,000 and got rid of that. I didn't really have the time, money, or energy to have a project car, and it definitely needed some TLC, so I got rid of it. But while I had it, it did run like a champion, and maybe I should have kept it around, but that was like over 10 years ago, so who knows. Okay, car number three. So car number three was actually a 2000 BMW 328i. So I was working, I saved up my money, and I actually ended up purchasing this car. It wasn't very expensive, and it wasn't in the best condition, and it had over 100,000 miles, but definitely the nicest car I owned back then. So I had the BMW, and I loved it. It was definitely an attention grabber. I luckily didn't have to do any maintenance or anything on it, so I really don't know what the cost for maintenance was, but I'm sure it wouldn't be that bad. What ended up happening with that car is it actually ended up getting stolen. So somebody stole that car, they stole the rims off of it, they put like these cheapo tires, the steering rack was all messed up. Like I literally can do this and the car would go straight, and it was pretty much a wash at that point. So I had to get rid of that. The insurance company took care of me on that, and it was just gone. So I had that car for about, I would say, 3-4 months before it got stolen. And you know, haters gonna hate, so that was into that. All right, car number four. So car number four was actually a 1987 Toyota Camry. So the same year I was born. So that car had well over 120,000 miles on it. It was very reliable, no issues. I literally only got oil changes, and I drove that car for a little over a year, and I could say it was a great car. Physically, it didn't look the best, but handling, driving wise, getting point A to point B, I could not have asked for more back then. So it was a great car, but that ended up being stolen as well. So the car was actually a gift to me after my other car got stolen, and this car ended up getting stolen. So long gone, ended up just eating that one as well, and didn't have a car for a while, and that's what happened there. All right guys, car number five. So car number five is going to be a 2000 Pontiac Grand Am. So this vehicle, it actually belonged to my uncle. I bought it off of him, and when I bought it, it was having some overheating issues and some other issues. It wasn't really running too great. I took it over to a mechanic, had everything repaired. It was like a brand new car when I got it, and about, I would say probably 3 months in, it overheated again. So I replaced like 3 radiators in there. By the 3rd radiator, I just put it in myself. Didn't look too difficult. Car ran well for a little while, and then boom, the engine blew. So I actually replaced the whole engine in that car, and after that ran great. And then the engine blew again. So after the second time, I was like, I'm not doing this. I literally put it on Craigslist, and within 1 hour, I sold that vehicle for, I think, like $2,000. So, hey, somebody else is rolling it now, but that was my number 5. All right, guys. So next, after number 5, I actually got into the motorcycles. So I owned not 1, not 2, but 3 2003 Yamaha R1s. So that was my favorite bike by far. I love Yamaha. I love the style. I love how they look. I love how they ride. I actually didn't even know how to ride a bike, and I actually ended up going straight to a 1000cc. So my first bike, I bought it off of my friend. He was having some hard times, and I had some cash in my pocket. So hey, what the heck? So I bought that from him, and after that one crashed, kind of blew up. I bought a second one. The second one, I actually blew the engine in. And then my third one was perfectly fine. I just ended up selling it. It had kind of high mileage, and just didn't really need it at that point. So wasn't riding very much, so I ended up selling that as well. So haven't had a motorcycle since, but yep, 3 motorcycles. All right, guys. My car number 6 was actually a Lexus RX350. So Lexus, always great, dependable, reliable vehicle. Had that for years. It ended up having a strut problem, which kind of left it sitting in the garage for a while. But I ended up trying to work on my credit a little bit more, and I ended up financing a car where I was actually going to give it to my brother, and it was a Mercury Cougar. So car number 7 is the Mercury Cougar. So the Mercury Cougar it was a 2000 Mercury Cougar. It is a god-awfully ugly car. I would not consider it a sports car by all means. Handling was horrible. Weight and balance and everything you can imagine was horrible on that car. I would not recommend that car to anybody. It's just not safe. So I actually spun out on the freeway in the Cougar, just making a turn to get off the off-ramp. So it just not a very safe car. So I would say that's on the list of no-nos. Definitely don't go there. All right, car number 7. I actually think it was either 2000 or 2003 Dodge Durango. So the Dodge Durango, it was great. I mean, I can't lie. Towards the end, it started doing a little clicking and and weird noises coming from the engine. So I ended up selling that. I sold it to somebody for cash, got rid of that, took that money, and then I ended up getting my next vehicle. So car number 8 was the Nissan 370Z. So that's when I got the Z. I love that car. By far my favorite car. By far best speed, handling, the newest car I owned up to that point. And it was a very fun car, and went through some struggles with it, but overall I would have to say pretty good car. When I ended up selling it, I actually sold it to Vitaly over at Pit Stop Auto. So he ended up, doing his thing with that, fixing it up, making it look all pretty and shiny. And that was the end of the Z. We'll see what I drive next. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed hearing about all the vehicles I've owned. And if you want to drop a comment, tell me some of the vehicles you have owned, let me know. Let me know which ones were good, which ones were bad. Let's do a best and worst in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe if you want to see more videos coming out. This year, 2021 coming up, I'm gonna be posting quite often. I'm gonna go ahead and get some new content, some new info, and hopefully keep you guys entertained throughout 2021. Let's make it a good one. I'll catch you guys later.